Okay, so this just came in from Oppo. I'm told it's smartphone related, so we're not gonna waste any time. Let's get right into it. Okay, so where should we start? Pretty anonymous so far. There's no clues here. Okay, quick check. Yeah. So there is one clear main event in this package, so we're going to take a quick look at some of the other stuff and then we'll get straight on to that. So you might know that Oppo is actually one of the main sponsors of the International Cricket Council, so the first few things are actually related to that. We've got a water bottle here which I believe is signed by the vice captain of the England team. We've got this gym bag over here with the hashtag Be a Shotmaker. And probably the coolest part of this whole ICC collaboration is what's inside here. So there are 4 tickets to go and see the Cricket World Cup, which I think is awesome. Now, before I get to the main event, there are still 3 more packages inside of here, which are probably more similar to the Oppo that you know. So one more over here, and let's get rid of this for now. All right, 1, 2, 3. So first up is the Oppo AX7, and there's a good chance that you've never heard of this phone, even though it's a pretty unique offering. The 3 selling points here are price, design, and battery life. It is £179 here in the UK, and as far as phones under 200 go, it's got a pretty slick aesthetic. But really everything here is in favour of battery life. The fact that it has a massive 4230 mAh cell, combined with the phone's less power-hungry Snapdragon 450 chip and 720p display, means easy 2-day battery. The next thing is Oppo's VOOC flash charge power bank, which, as the name gives away, supports the company's VOOC charging at 20 watts in both directions. So it can not just charge your phones with 20 watts of power, but the bank itself also charges with it. And this fast charging is actually achieved by splitting the bank's overall 10,000 mAh capacity into 2 separate 5,000 mAh cells. We've then got the Oppo O3, which is kind of Oppo's foray into the fully wireless earphone market. And visually, they kind of remind me of the back of the Oppo Find X. When you open the case, they connect automatically to your phone, and they'll auto pause when you take the buds out of your ear. Okay, now for the flagship. This is the Oppo Reno 10x zoom, and I didn't just want to take it out the box and tell you that it's a really cool phone. You've probably heard that 20 times already. I wanted to show you. So the headline feature here is, well, it's kind of in the name. It's the fact that this phone can zoom in with 10 times hybrid zoom and all the way up to 60 times digitally. It's a massive statement. To even enable a phone to zoom in 60 times, you have to be pretty confident in the image quality. So I travelled to central London to see how well it works. On the way, I spent some time testing the optical image stabilization, and well, the results speak for themselves. Take a look at how stable the van and the road is in front of me. What's even cooler is, I was playing around with the zoom in a car moving at 65 miles an hour and managed to get this of the moon with no software trickery. If you take a quick look at the hardware, you can see 3 cameras flush with the body of the phone, and this little dot below which prevents them from being scratched when on a flat surface. You've got the main 48 megapixel sensor, you've got an ultrawide, and then the periscope 5x zoom camera. So I took this phone to Regent Street in London, and right here you can see me shifting slowly from the ultrawide camera to the standard view to a 2x zoom, a 10x zoom, and before you realise what's happening, a 60 times zoom. So it's pretty interesting to watch as objects that were previously dots on your screen slowly become the primary subjects of your photo. All the way up to about 10 times zoom, I'd say things remain pin sharp. Beyond that, I'd call the zoom optional. It's cool to see just how close you can get, but you could always just take the shot at 10 times and then crop into exactly what you wanted to see later. Alright, but as cool as the zoom is, there are a few other camera features worth pointing out, which might actually be a more typical usage case scenario. You've got a portrait mode, which I was pleasantly surprised by. The bokeh is pretty natural looking and foregrounds are reliably crisp. The phone has a night mode, or in this case Ultra Night Mode 2.0. A dazzle color option which pumps up the saturation and can turn a fairly normal scene into something eye-catching, and on the front camera, the ability to cope with pretty harsh backlighting. In every other way, this is a full flagship experience. The phone's got the design nailed down, seamless metal and glass all around, with this pivot rising structure that contains the front camera, earpiece, and the rear flash. I've shown the Reno to a fair few people now, and they are consistently impressed. It's got flagship internals and combines them with what Oppo calls HyperBoost 2.0, which brings a combination of faster touch response times and more stable gaming frame rates. The Reno 10X Zoom has dual speakers, it has a large 4065 mAh battery, and runs on Oppo's new ColorOS 6 software. Now, to address this software, it is a major redesign versus the last generation, and the best way I can describe it is borderless. You'll notice a distinct lack of edges. Every menu, every first-party app extends without interruption to the bezels of the phone, and it's quite a tactile experience. A lot of the dials, a lot of the sliders in the UI, they all trigger very subtle vibrations that just make it feel a bit more alive. And then you've got the massive 6.6-inch 1080p OLED panel on the front. They call it the panoramic full-screen display, and it's backed by Corning Gorilla Glass 6 for drop protection. So, as for what's next, I'm going to be taking this phone to the Cricket World Cup in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm going to try and use the ultra-wide, use that zoom, to see what it would look like in that scenario. So stay tuned to the Mr. Who's the Boss Instagram page to keep up on that. My name is Aaron, and I will catch you in the next one.